All right. Well, hello and welcome. We're happy that you've taken time out of your day today to join us for our first Nights of GP webinar. Our goal today is really just to clarify the misconception around the quote end of life versus end of support, and really what that means when it comes to Microsoft's 2031 announcement. More importantly, we'll address your questions when it comes to your future on Dynamics GP and how partners like Njevity can continue to support you well past that 2031 end of support date. Quickly, my name is Mike McPhillamy. I have my webcam on. Hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully you can see my screen okay. If not, hopefully somebody will chime in and let me know. But I'll be kicking off today's session before handing things over to my team and over to our panel. Before jumping in, I always just like to show and talk about our mission statement. For those of you who already know and work with Njevity, hopefully you see Njevity living to our mission every day, which is to improve the life and success of our customers and partners by providing exceptional business application experiences that simplify, inform, and delight. And really you should see that commitment to that exceptional experience woven throughout the conversation today. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? Let's take a look at our agenda. First do some house cleaning, get the welcome and introductions out of the way. But then I'm going to turn it over to the Knights of GP gang that has joined me to talk about Njevity's commitment to Dynamics GP and why we're staying committed to Dynamics GP. We'll also talk about how we're providing customer success when it comes to projects and making sure that you're getting the most out of your Dynamics GP investment. How we're going to continue to support GP, keep you running, again, well past that 2031 end of support date. And then we'll turn it over and we'll talk about some of the innovation and development that Njevity is doing to extend GP in PowerGP Online. At the end, we'll do a live Q&A. So, if you have a question that you think about as we're going through this, feel free to pop it into the questions pane and we will address your questions here at the end. And I did not appropriately pull those bullet points there. So there you go. Now you can see what I was just rambling about. All right, so let's meet the team real quick. Again, my name is Mike McPhillamy. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing, and I'm joined by the Knights of GP gang, Melissa Dobkins, our Director of Customer Success, Wendy Epperson, our Customer Account Manager, Paige Horn, who manages our support as our Customer Support Manager, and then KJ Kruger, who is our Director of R&D, and doing some really cool things with PowerGP Online. So you'll get a chance to hear from them here in a minute. But before I hand this over, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, and that is what is with that really cool vest you're wearing? Why Knights of GP? Who are the Knights of GP? So at Njevity, we don't just say we're committed to Dynamics GP. I mean, we literally wear it on our backs. I mean, that logo you see right there, actually, I'll do a quick turn. There you go. You can see it. We literally wear it on our backs, and that's why you'll see our team in these leather biker vests at events like Summit, Dynamics Con, and it really kind of goes back to biker culture, where ride or die means loyalty, trust, and an unwavering commitment to the journey, no matter the obstacles. So that's exactly how we approach our relationship with Dynamics GP and Dynamics GP customers. When Microsoft announced the end of support date for GP, many partners started jumping ship, started pushing their customers to the product that they supported. It may not have been Business Central. If they're an Acumatica shop, they might be pushing Acumatica or NetSuite. In Njevity, we still believe in GP and stand by businesses that rely on it. So we're here for the long haul to provide support, cloud and hosting, training, as well as extending solutions to keep your Dynamics GP system running smooth, again, well into the future. So when you see us in these vests, just know we're not another partner. We're literally your ride or die Dynamics GP partner, and you can count on us to have your back. Last little piece of housekeeping, make sure you have your cell phone out and ready to engage with a few of our slides through this webinar. It'll just make it easier to register for some of the upcoming things that you are not going to want to miss out on. So again, have it handy. You'll see those slides when they pop up. But with that, that's all I had. So I'm going to hand it over to Melissa Dobkins to talk about our Njevity's commitment to Dynamics GP. Melissa, go ahead.
Awesome. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. So thanks, Mike. And really, like as Mike mentioned, to just kind of give an overview as to what are all these changes and announcements from Microsoft mean to us, but more importantly, what do they mean to our customers and our partners as well. I have lots of conversations with customers looking for new partners. And it's often because my partner doesn't respond to me, or they're just trying to push me to something new, that they happen to be representing now. And I'm not saying this is true for all partners. We've got some great partners out there that take fabulous care of their GP customers. But when us at Njevity, and especially me, when I'm having these conversations with customers, my biggest thing is, like, we are not here just at a transactional level. We're not here to just sell you a new piece of software and get that revenue in. We really want to be your partner. And I know Wendy's going to talk about some things that we do when we bring in new customers on, to really get a good understanding of how those customers, or how you're using the system, maybe where are some pain points, where can we start helping. But one of the things that I just like to really impress on people is, make sure the partner you're working with really is in it for your good, not theirs. We see a lot of them that they're just looking for that additional revenue. They're going to sell you whatever system they want. But again, we've got other partners that sell 3 or 4, and they will still kick butt and take care of their GP customers. So no worries in that whatsoever. Um, we are also really dedicated. I'm going to show you some roadmap slides here in just a minute. We have no end date for support from us specifically. Mike mentioned we're ride or die, and that's what we mean. I've had plenty of customers who have reached out and said, "Hey, what does that really mean? Like, what if we get to 2040 and I'm still using GP?" I'm like, "Well, I'm hoping to be retired by then, but I'm sure somebody will be at Njevity to answer your call." We are here as long as customers want support. And we do that because we know GP is solid. Yeah, is it old? Sure, it's old, but you know what? So is Excel. And everyone still uses Excel. And I kind of look at it that way. It's got such deep functionality. It's got a massive ecosystem, and things that people never thought you could actually write to integrate. That I think KJ will touch on. Actually, there's a lot you can really do to extend GP. So we're all in for the long term. I think also one of the big concerns that comes from the announcements we've heard from Microsoft. The very first announcement we've heard was, I think it was September 2029. And I'm sure most people, partners on this call right now, but also customers who run payroll, like, whoa, wait a minute. It kind of goes to show that I feel like they just, Microsoft kind of threw a dart at a wall and picked a date, because they're like, oh yeah, you might want to finish your payroll for that year, those kinds of things. We really look at these dates of end of support does not mean end of life. It does not mean your GP system's going to go away. It doesn't mean that Njevity and other partners out there, and an enormous number of your ISVs are still going to be around. We've even gotten to the point where we're talking about, well, how do we maybe figure out a way to still get payroll updates out to existing customers. So when you start seeing things from Microsoft where they're like, GP end of life is 2031, it's actually not end of life. It might be the end of their support, where you're not going to call Terry Healy and potentially have a conversation with her. We don't call Microsoft very often anyway, so it's not really where we need them all that much from a support perspective. But GP doesn't stop working. We've got somebody we're talking to later this week, I think, that's running GP10. In case you're wondering, GP10 was released 15 years ago at least. It still runs. We've had a customer on the DOS version of GP, still runs. So the stuff doesn't just go away. So there's nothing for customers to be scared of. There's nothing that's going to stop their business. You can continue this. This is not a fire drill that anybody needs to be into. And GP is going to remain that way past 2031. We at Njevity fully expect these dates to get moved. The sad part is you don't know they're going to move until right before you hit the date. That's a typical Microsoft cadence. Anytime you've seen them announce a date, they're like, "Oh, we're just kidding. Maybe it's going to be next year." So the more customers continue paying maintenance and those sorts of things, the more you're going to see them continuing that support in terms of whether that 2029 date, 2031 date, whatever it might look like. Whether or not Microsoft is around, Njevity personally will be around to support you. ISVs aren't going anywhere. They want to take care of their customers, but we also have, again, lots of other great partners that'll be around to support as well. The roadmap that we have, the first slide we're going to show is real. This is really just our roadmap from Microsoft, right? This is kind of the one everybody saw, you know, and back in the day, it was a 2028 and beyond. You know, the and beyond didn't go too far, which is fine. It was still and beyond, and we're happy with that. But what does that really mean? Does Dynamics GP stop working? Absolutely not. And when we look at our personal Njevity's roadmap in terms of supporting Dynamics GP, Mike, if you want to go to the next slide, we're looking out even farther. We're not stopping at 2031. There are not enough consultants around to be able to take every single GP customer and have them moved by then. It's not physically possible. And to be quite honest, but lots of them are not going to move. So we are still going to be here. Whether you're an on-prem customer, whether you're in our cloud, it doesn't matter. But on top of that, and KJ will be talking about this a little bit when she gets to this, is also our PowerGP Online cloud. We are adding the functionality and features that Microsoft just never did, like our banking integrations, like just built-in import tools. I don't know, like an actual API that's built around your environment. Imagine that, like things that everybody would expect from a what people might consider a modern cloud ERP. I look at a modern ERP as a new ERP, meaning their functionality is not the same. You've got to be really careful. But from an Njevity perspective and PowerGP Online perspective, we don't have an end date. We have committed 10 years plus. We're not looking to say, hey, this is when we're going to stop using it. And from our own perspective, Njevity are users of GP. We don't have an ERP replacement in our 10-year plan. So we have no intention of trying to take all of the integrations and reports and ISVs and processes that we've built to work in our business and try to figure out what other system's going to work this way. We know GP does it. GP is not going to stop working and just go away. And to be quite honest, there's not a lot of features they need to add anyway. It's a solid product. So just, you know, we want to make sure that customers understand they're not ever going to be left behind. We say we're ride or die. There are plenty of others out there that are too. We just want to make sure if you know, we're here for you. We are here for you. We're here to work with other partners to make sure their customers are taken care of. More importantly, we're really here to make sure customers don't feel that they're being abandoned, that they don't feel like they have to get into a panic mode. We are committed to this. We don't have anywhere we're going. The system's working for you. There's no reason to pay 6 figures and move to another product. So typically when we're looking, I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit, really high level, in terms of what we call our Njevity way. And some of you so there's some names I've seen on here, and you've probably gone through this process and potentially have seen these slides before. But really what we try to do, whether you're an on-prem customer, whether you're coming into our cloud, we you know, parts of this Njevity way make more sense than others, but we really try to understand what your needs are, curate the best solution for that, make sure we have our contract signed, start our onboarding process, whether that's an on-prem or cloud, deliver to you exactly what everyone was expecting. And then from the future, we're just trying to delight, making sure our ongoing support's well. We're checking in with customers just for wellness checks to make sure things are going okay. We want to stay engaged. We want to hear from customers even after you're live. We're not expecting you to just go away. So you'll see this in any time you're interacting with us. You'll see us going through parts of this Njevity way, just just to make sure everybody has a very smooth experience, or as smooth as possible, as we walk through this process. I am actually, so that's my spiel. I'm done. I'm actually going to hand it over to Wendy. So Wendy's going to talk a little bit about just our customer success. She is our account manager. So she's got a lot of specifics on her plate as well that she's going to give you guys a little bit of insight to. Can't hear you,
Now
Wendy.
I'm unmuted. Yep, I'm trying to find the button. So hopefully you can hear me now. I am a newly appointed customer account manager. So I put this top bullet point because we've just made this position about 7 months ago, 8 months ago now. And it really is to allow you to have an extra touch point. So I'm kind of a liaison between everybody on this team. I work with Mike on upfront customers. I work with Melissa on existing customers and Paige on support. I work with KJ on new product suggestions and ideas. I came from the R&D team before here. Before that, I was on customer success. So I've kind of been all over the company. So it works really well for me to be a good liaison. I've been supporting accounting software for 30 years now, and it gives me a good rounded background to kind of be able to help everybody with everything that they, or with any questions that they might have kind of across the spectrum of our company. So again, I've been here for about 7 months, and Melissa mentioned the Njevity way on that previous slide, and I do a lot of those things. So there's some of the discovery that's mine, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. There's some of the delighting that's mine, hopefully. In between, there's onboarding. We kind of have 2 different kinds of onboarding processes. So if you're onboarding into our PowerGP Online, we have Jen Cotton who helps with that process, and that is a very coordinated concierge process. So that's kind of we get to know you, we figure out how best to bring you into our environment. There's user acceptance testing. We have meetings to help ensure everybody can get in the RDP, all the programs are installed and up and operating, and everything runs as smoothly as possible from start to finish getting into our cloud. We have some scenarios where we condense that. So we do understand we have scenarios where people are coming off of, several years ago, there was a hosting solution that had ransomware. And so we needed to pick some customers up and get them on really quickly. And we're able to turn that over, within days to get somebody up and running in our environment just because our process is so well honed. So that's the great coming into PowerGP Online. If you're an on-premise customer, then we've kind of got a different process there. We've got a product that we built to help us identify everything that you have, that you own, ISVs, what you have installed, account format, things like that we really need on a basis to get started with you. And then we have GP Health Check, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more on the next slide. But again, just another process to help us get to know you, get to know your business, and help us figure out what we can do for you. And one of the other areas under me is training. So we are huge proponents of training. There's so many reasons that you want to get trained. First of all, we find a lot of folks who started using, like Melissa said, GP when it was version 10 or 8 or 7. And if you haven't been retrained since then, you're missing out on a lot of new features and functionalities. There's so much more the software can do for you. We also really encourage training because if you have turnover, if I know how to do this job and I do these 4 steps and then I quit and I show you the steps and you only remember 3 of them, now we've lost something in the mix. So if you're always getting training on the software, you're just keeping up to date and you're gaining the most functionality and keeping your GP optimized. So to help facilitate that, on both of our websites, on Njevity.com and PowerGPOnline.com, we have some already recorded sessions. Some of those are PowerGP specific, some of those are seldom used features, GL, AP, and then just as a teaser, we're working on a new option for training that's going to be on-demand courses where you can go in and purchase the option to watch courses however often you want, and we're building those in like small nuggets so they're really easy to consume. So keep an eye out for that in future newsletters and postings because we're going to have some really great training coming in the very near future. So thank you. We also have consulting services. So not only are we a reseller, but we are a partner. And again, as I mentioned, I've got 30 years of experience. Melissa's got 25 plus. Paige has got 15 plus. Everybody on our consulting team has got just years and years of service. If there's something that you need to do in GP, someone on our team has touched it, has done it, knows how to make it work, knows how to set it up and keep it running. So we have a very deep breadth of consultants. And that can range anywhere from, the break fix, which Paige is going to talk about in the future, to new projects. It may be that everything is running great with GP, but you're a glapper. If you've ever heard the term glapper, that means a customer that's using GL, AP, and AR. But now you want to add fixed assets or you want to add payroll. So that's the kind of services we can do. And that leads into the GP Health Check. And the GP Health Check is, we're going to see a slide on it here in a minute, but it's just a way for us to get in and help. If you're new to us, we're going to set up an appointment with you to talk about what you have, what modules you have, what you are using, what you aren't using, what you could be using. We're going to talk to you about what's going right, what isn't going right. Do you need training? Do you need an upgrade to stay current? I'm working right now with a potential customer that's on GP10. So like Melissa said, you can keep using it. GP10 is from probably 2009, I think, is when GP10 came out. So they're on almost 20-year-old version of GP, and I'm doing the math right now to figure out how to hop them up to something current, which is going to take some hops. It's going to take a little bit of work, but we're going to get them there. And in the process, of course, we'll train them on everything new that they have along the way. But that review can be anything from, like my bullet points say, we're going to look at your history and see if you still need it. Is there things we can clean up? Is your security all out of whack? Should we fix that for you? Is there something that you need to do? If everything's going right, when was the last time you had training? If there's a process where you have to stand on one leg and turn in two circles and hope the import works, then we probably want to look at that and see if there's pain that we can fix for you. So that's what our GP Health Check is really just to kind of make sure that we optimize your GP and you're using everything along the way. And another thing, I forgot to add a bullet, but one of the pieces under my job is also, if you're interested in PowerGP Online and the features and functions that we offer, you can reach out to me and I can show you demos of all our PowerGP Online products. So, and that's available kind of any point in time. You can just email me and we can set up a quick little demo of our PowerGP Online with some really cool stuff that KJ is going to talk about. So I think I have one more slide. That is the health check, and this is where Mike said, grab your phone because there's a QR code here, and if you need a GP health check, then scan that and let us know, and we'll schedule your health check. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paige, who's going to talk about our ongoing support options.
Yeah, and real fast, I'm just going to jump in real fast. Just with this health check, Wendy mentioned, new customers, or maybe you're not working with us yet. This is an open invitation for anybody on this call today, whether you've been with us with Njevity for years and years as a customer, or you just joined working with Njevity, or you're thinking about working with Njevity to help us provide support. This is available to you. I mean, we really want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your GP and helping understand some of the things that we can do to help fix maybe some of those pain points or some of those things, some of those issues that you've had over that have been causing some pain for some time. So I wanted to talk and jump in there mainly to give you an opportunity to scan this before handing it over to Paige. But we'll send you this deck, but make sure you sign up for this. And with that, Paige, now it's yours.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad that everybody is here and just participating in this webinar. And if you're a current customer of ours, you've probably seen my name a lot in the past. I run our help desk ticketing system and our customer support. And so one of the things that I think is really, really great about our customer support is that there isn't a form you have to fill out. You don't have to go to a website and fill out something. You just shoot us an email and it goes into our ticketing system. We also have a really great response time. We usually will respond, our average is under an hour from a real person, so not an automated reply, but somebody's going to get back with you. We have a ticketing system that allows us to have some really good visibility. So if you sent in 4 tickets about something, someone's going to notice that and go, hey, something's going on here. This person sent in 4 tickets about, not being able to open this window. Should we schedule something for security with them? So we are able to see kind of trends in your support tickets. We also are able to have other people on the team help you. So if you send a ticket in and Wendy helps you with something, and then the next time somebody else on our consulting team is going to help you, we're going to be able to have that visibility to what Wendy did with you in the past. As Melissa mentioned, we are heavy on relationships here. We hope that every person that you encounter at Njevity, you form a relationship with. And I think most people, when we go out into the community, when we're at Summit, when we're at conferences, people do say that. They say that they feel like that they have a personal relationship with the consultants that they work with, or from people on my support team that help them figure out why they can't print to their printer when they are onboarding, or whatever that might be. Everyone on our team, as Wendy mentioned earlier, really love GP and have used GP. So I think most of the consulting team and several of us on support, we were accountants and we worked in GP. We know the pain points that come from being an accountant and entering transactions and printing reports and doing all of that. So we have lots of GP specific knowledge, lots of SQL knowledge, lots of help desk knowledge with all the other programs that we use. And I think one of the great things about our team is that we really all love helping people and helping customers. So we aren't just trying to see how many tickets we can solve in a day or how many people we can help in a day. We really want to make sure that every person we're talking to gets an individualized experience and that they're able to feel like they can count on Njevity, for whether that is for finding a new module or finding a new solution, or just those break fix things that happen on a daily basis. So that's really all I have, and we would love to support you. We would love to, be the person that you call and count on, and help you guys make GP work for you from now and into the future. And from there, I'm going to hand off as I speak about the future. KJ is going to talk about all the really cool things that we are doing with PowerGP Online and what we plan for the future.
All right, unmuted. That was the thing I was going to forget. So thank you, Paige. Hey, everybody. As Paige said, I get to walk you through the future of PowerGP Online. We'll cover what we've been working on and then also what's on the horizon. So as Melissa talked about earlier, while Microsoft's timeline doesn't include any GP development beyond 2031, ours is just the opposite. We're not just planning to keep GP alive, we're going to continue to enhance it. So first, let's review what Njevity has already delivered to make GP better. To improve user experience, we've made updates to several windows in GP. We've put in better layouts, we've made navigation easier. Sometimes we just did small tweaks here and there, like changing a field that's typically hidden to make it visible by default. Little changes like that can make a big difference from day to day when people are using GP. PowerGP import, people love this one because manual data entry is not a fun thing. It's time consuming and it opens the door for data entry errors. With PowerGP import, you can skip the manual entry, then you can just import data straight from an Excel spreadsheet into GP. PowerGP Connect. Now this one is a pretty big deal. I would encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. This is a secure cloud-based API designed to seamlessly integrate GP with other business applications. It makes connecting GP to other applications pretty much effortless. There's no complex development, no complex coding necessary. This can save you much of the time and cost associated with custom reports, custom workflows, and that sort of thing. And if that sounds really technical, for those of you who are not very technical, it's really super easy. I would encourage you, contact Wendy. She can show you some of this. Paige can show you some of this. It's fantastic. PowerGP Banking. This is one of my favorites. This makes bank reconciliations and credit card entries simple. We connect directly to your financial institutions. You download bank transactions to reconcile your checkbook. You can also download credit card transactions, assign a GL account for each transaction, and then import all of that into a payables voucher. Our solution makes these processes so much more efficient, and you can get rid of all those extra manual steps that you normally have to do. So I added a screenshot of one of our banking windows here. You might notice it looks a little bit different than it used to. We've already done some pretty significant updates to banking this year, and we've got some more in the pipeline, some of which we will be releasing this month. So I will talk about that in just a minute. Beyond what we've already launched, we're developing new features to extend PowerGP Online's capabilities even further. As we continue to improve our existing products, we're implementing a regular release cadence for enhancements and bug fixes. So you'll see releases more often, with shorter, more focused maintenance windows. So for you, that means a steady stream of improvements, and typically there's going to be way less downtime. As I mentioned, as part of this new cadence, we will be delivering some key updates to banking this month. Just one example of what's being updated this month is that the import credit card vouchers feature will remember the last GL account used for repeating transactions. It will then autofill that account, so you won't have to manually select it every time. If you've got a lot of repeating charges, like gas stations, office supplies, monthly subscriptions, this could save you a ton of time. And this is just one of several improvements in this month's release. So if you keep an eye out for the release notification email, it should be coming tomorrow. There's a link in there that will take you to the release notes where you can see the full list of what's coming this month. An upcoming addition that we're really excited about, that you've probably heard Chris Dobkins talk about before, is PowerGP Payments. With PowerGP Payments, you will be able to pay vendors directly from the cloud. It provides secure, automated processes for multiple types of vendor payments, checks, ACH, etc. And it integrates directly with GP, so you can get away from all that manual processing you typically have to do when paying vendors, like those dreaded check runs that we all love so much. Beyond all of that, we're also looking ahead to AI-driven reporting and predictive analytics. Our goal is to not only improve GP's ability to process your data, but also help you make smarter, more informed decisions with that data. One of the things that makes GP such a powerful solution is its established, extensive network of add-ons and integrations. We know how important the ecosystem is, and we're committed to keeping it strong. Independent software vendors are a vital part of GP community. We actively work with ISVs to bring you the specialized tools you need, whether they're enhancing the general functionality of GP or adding something that's industry specific. We currently bundle some valuable ISV solutions with our PowerGP Online Premium and Premium Plus editions, including Rockton SmartFill, Rockton Toolbox, and Notice Credit Card Processing. Long term, we're working alongside our ISV partners to ensure that GP remains robust and evolving as a solution. We are committed to remaining active in this community with these ISVs to make sure that you have solutions that you need. So what does the future look like? If and when Microsoft eventually starts phasing out our support and certain updates for GP, Njevity and the ISV community are here to step in. We're already planning for long-term support. So imagine a world where Njevity provides payroll tax updates and other compliance-driven changes. Imagine GP working seamlessly with AI-driven analytics, offering predictive modeling and real-time reporting insights. That's where we're headed. Cybersecurity is more critical than ever, so we're continuously reviewing and implementing stronger security protocols, ensuring that we meet modern compliance standards to keep your data safe. In all of this, our continuing support and development of GP will remain customer focused. We actively listen to our customers. Your feedback is what informs our roadmap, and we're committed to building solutions that truly do meet your needs. The bottom line is that GP is here not just to stay, but to thrive, evolve, and keep delivering value to your business. Njevity is continuing to invest in GP. We have no plans to stop. We're building new tools, we're integrating smarter solutions, and we're working with the best ISVs in the industry. We're committed to supporting you well beyond Microsoft's timeline, ensuring GP remains a strong, viable solution for years to come. That's all I've got. I'll pass this back to Mike.
Awesome. Thanks so much, KJ. And sorry, I got a little lost in the slide deck there. So if you're trying to follow along with what KJ was talking about, I may have messed you up. But KJ, that's great information. It's super exciting to see all of the things that you and your team are working to bring the PowerGP Online. So what's next? We've heard a lot from a lot of team members today about why we're committed, kind of what we're doing. Most important, just stay connected. You are going to be inundated with messaging from not only, partners that are trying to convince you to move from GP, or misinformation, or, things from Microsoft that make you question competitors. Everybody's going to be trying to push this narrative on you. It's really important to stay connected and recognize, truth from kind of that fear mongering. So one of the things that I would recommend is here's another opportunity to pull out your phone if you're not already on it. Stay connected. This will take you to a page. Let's see if I've got it open here. But just so you can subscribe to some of our social platforms, attend webinars and training courses, sign up to receive our newsletter. Just a great opportunity to, again, make sure that you're hearing messaging that aligns with Njevity's commitment and your desire to stay on GP. Let's see, I got lost there again. Again, don't miss our live training and webinar events. If you have more questions, we tried to outlay a lot of information and just, talk frank and honest with you today. But if you have more questions, reach out. Email info@njevity.com. Reach out to, a member of the Njevity team. Ask the questions. If you're getting something that doesn't make sense, reach out. We'd be happy to have the conversation with you. And then be on the lookout for more Nights of GP webinars like this one. We are going to be collaborating with the GP community and really bringing, experts in to have these types of conversations. They're really just geared towards, hey, here's what's happening, here's the truth, here's what you need to know, here's what this actually means. So again, keep an eye out for those. We have our next webinar coming up next month, April 16th. And this is just to give you an idea. If you're thinking about moving to the cloud, moving to the cloud doesn't mean you need to move from GP. A great stepping stone into the cloud is PowerGP Online, because it lets you keep your GP. You also get some of the new features and functionality that KJ was describing. But it allows you to make that step, ditch the on-prem servers, level up your cybersecurity posture without having to go through an implementation. Because at the end of the day, if you are moving to the cloud because Microsoft is telling you to move to the cloud and you're choosing a product like Business Central or Acumatica, that's a new implementation. So you're going to be not only spending a big investment upfront, capital expense on that implementation. I mean, you're easily looking 50 to 100,000. I was just speaking with somebody who's quoted $200,000 to move from GP to Business Central. I mean, that's a big investment, but it's not only monetary investment. You're also, taking time from the leadership and taking time from driving the business forward to implement something new, and just having that distraction. You have to retrain your team. So if you want cloud, but you also want to keep all of the great things you have in GP and get more, I'd invite you to join us for this next webinar. If this doesn't work, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to show you this anytime, but this is a great opportunity to see some of the things that, again, we're doing to bring more to Dynamics GP in PowerGP Online.
And Mike, can I step in for just a second? For those who don't know, our PowerGP Online Cloud was built for GP. So everything is spec'd out specifically for GP. It's not something that just happened. It was very specifically built knowing the needs of GP.
Yeah, and that was a great point, because it really is. I mean, we really care about that exceptional experience in GP. So that's why it was built, and some of the decisions were made around PowerGP Online to really deliver a cloud that made GP better. All right, well,